Streaming from the 22 News Broadcast Center. This is 22 News at 4 p.m. Digital Edition.
Good Thursday afternoon, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Nick Oresko. We'll get to your top stories at 4 in just a moment, but first a look at traffic and weather with 22 News Storm Team meteorologist Brian Lapis. Brian, luckily a dry day today, but once again, hot and humid out there.
Yeah, it's a little bit less humid, but when you get to 90, what's the difference, right? So take it easy in the heat. Use the SPF 30 or stronger and stay hydrated here this afternoon. Let's take a look at traffic first, then we'll get to weather. And you can see here that we're in pretty good shape. 91's fine. The Pike west of Springfield or west of Chicopee is fine. Pike eastbound, a couple of slow spots there in Palmer and Ludlow. And also, westbound, that's where those slow spots are, in a slow area east of Sturbridge there, that typical spot that often slows at the 84 merge eastbound on Mass Pike. 291, 391 looking good. So a little bit of patience there along the Pike, but generally speaking, no major problems. Temperatures right now, as Nick and I were discussing, are in the low 90s. Temperatures 91 right now in Springfield, 92 in Westfield, 89 in Northampton, 90 in Orange, and 94 in Greenfield. And there's a breeze out of the west at around 13 miles per hour in Westfield and Springfield. That's helping us to knock down the humidity a little bit. So with that said, it's still uncomfortable out there, but not quite as oppressive as it was earlier. And we go to our dew point. You can see that we've got dew points now that are lower than 70 degrees in a few spots. So it's all relative, but it is a little bit less humid than it was at this time yesterday. Also, we've got a couple of isolated showers that we're spotting here. For the most part, they're benign, but there could be an isolated shower, maybe even an isolated lightning strike here through about 7 o'clock tonight. Better chance for showers tomorrow. We'll show you with our 22 News Storm Team Skycast.
The United States and Russia have completed a 24-person prisoner swap today, the largest in post-Soviet history. Among the Americans released was journalist Evan Gershkovich in a multinational deal that set some 24 people free. Russia, in the meantime, secured the freedom of its own nationals convicted of serious crimes in the West. President Biden addressed the nation with the families of the U.S. prisoners at his side.
This is an incredible relief for all the family members gathered here. It's a relief to the friends and colleagues all across the country who've been praying for this day for a long time.
24 people in total were part of the exchange, including 12 German nationals and 8 Russians imprisoned in the U.S., Germany, Slovenia, Norway, and Poland. Well, today, a new 5-day stay limit takes effect at all overflow shelter sites in Massachusetts. This new limit is meant to turn overflow shelters into temporary respite centers. Families currently staying in overflow shelters have until August 5th to find alternative housing or face becoming ineligible for future shelter stays.
We are reaching and have reached our limit, and for those who are in other states or other countries thinking that Massachusetts has an infinite supply of housing, the fact of the matter is that we don't.
Activists gathered both in Boston and in Western Massachusetts to protest this new regulation, saying it is, quote, cruel and unfair to families who rely on the state for help. Governor Healy saying despite pushback, these new regulations are permanent. Contactless payments start today for the MBTA. Now subway and bus riders can skip the Charlie card or tickets, tap their mobile wallets like Apple Pay, and get on their way. Contactless payment like this is already in place in many other major transit systems, including New York. T officials say the new system may reduce the length of station stops and make it easier for passengers to pay their fares. With a heat advisory in effect for Hampden County, the city of Springfield is opening cooling centers for residents to stay safe and cool. 7 locations are open through tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Locations include the Hungry Hill Senior Center, Mason Square Library Community Room, and the South End Community Room. For a full list of cooling centers, visit our website, wwlp.com. Let's bring back in meteorologist Brian Lapis. Yeah, heat advisory for Hampden County. Another hot day out there today.
Yeah, heat advisory goes until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. So another day potentially tomorrow in the 90s. So something to keep in mind. And it does look like we've got some rain to contend with, not only tomorrow, but into and possibly through the weekend. But this evening, other than an isolated shower, as I was mentioning earlier, will be dry and just some scattered clouds around here through 9 o'clock and through midnight tonight. Overnight, clouds start to increase a little bit as the sun rises. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can see a few clouds. So a sun-cloud mix for the morning hours, and then during the afternoon, here come the scattered showers, especially after 4 o'clock. So late afternoon, here they come. A few scattered thunderstorms. Not a total rain out here for tomorrow, but be ready for a couple of downpours and some lightning strikes here late afternoon and into the evening hours on Friday. We'll also talk about Saturday and Sunday's weather on TV tonight on 22 News at 6.
The Federal Reserve is keeping interest rates steady as it works to keep inflation under control. The Federal Reserve kept its key interest rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, citing some further progress toward its 2% inflation goal. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says that officials will proceed carefully as they weigh when they should start bringing down rates. Frontier Airlines is now offering flights for as low as $19 from dozens of airports across the U.S. That includes Bradley International Airport as part of its greatest of all time promotion. Flights out of more than 50 U.S. airports are included in this promotion. But you have to act quick. The sale ends tonight at 11:59. Customers need to fly by November 13th, and it's only eligible for flights departing on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Now for a look at what we are working on for 22 News starting at 6 o'clock tonight after daytime Olympic coverage. The last day of formal sessions at the State House lasted all night and into this morning. We'll have what they got done and what negotiations fell short of an agreement. Plus, the Berkshire District Attorney's Office is warning of an increase in phone scams targeting senior citizens. What you need to know to make sure your personal information does not get stolen. And a piece of local aviation history arrived in Connecticut last week to be demilitarized. The F-15 Eagle now finding its permanent home at the New England Air Museum. Brian.
One more check of traffic, and as I mentioned, the Pike westbound, a couple of slow spots, Palmer and Ludlow, also closer to Brimfield and Warren there, but no big deal. 91 is looking pretty good, and 391 and 291 are also in pretty good shape. We'll talk about the potential for some rain here to start and potentially last through the weekend with our 22 News Storm Team forecast on 22 News at 6.
Brian, thank you, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. Latest news and updates always on our website and on the free app.